is BMSTE Radio Show. I would like to, before I get into anything major, I want to thank RIP Radio Network for making this happen for us. We were able to continue on with our show. I'm sorry, I'm trying to share. We were able to share, we were able to continue with all the pandemic stuff going on. He made a way for us to continue to we've done some amazing shows this season in lieu of the pandemic. So I'm very happy for that. I want to thank Tierra for, coming in and always being a support to the show. We really do appreciate you and what you add and bring to the show. Thank you so much for your commitment to us. This is actually the last show of the season, and we wanted to end it with a bang. But Tierra and I have already talked about June, and I think we have a nice lineup for you all next month as well. So I'm really excited about that. But I want to make sure that we say thank you to everybody who has supported us this season, all of our guests that came on. The studio is opening up June the 8th, but I've decided for our safety, and we're still going to go virtual online. We're just going to do it this way. I'm perfectly fine. It works for us until things get a little stable. I think we'll stay this way here. What do you think?
I love that idea. I absolutely love that idea. They were talking about opening up everything else. I was like, I'm gonna give it another month or so, but after everything opens up, I'm just to be safe and cautious. So
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we're going to do this for another month. I'm perfectly fine doing it this way. Um, I want to I have to thank RIP Radio Network again for making this happen. Thank you to our guy, Brian, behind the scenes. He does an amazing job. I really do appreciate him as well. I always shout out Trump, but I know Trump has a team. I want to shout out his team as well. So that being said, this is the last show until June the 8th. And Tierra and I already have some great shows lined up for June. So we're excited about that. But if you want to be a guest on our show, if you have something that you want to talk about, our platform is your platform. We allow you to control your narrative. It is amazing. So you can come on the show. Just email us at bmste@bmste.com. You could go to our website at BMSTE Radio Show, our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at BMSTE Radio Show. I am one of your hosts, Benita Marie Spinner. Put out my whole government name.
Okay,
You can Google Benita Spinner, and my whole life comes up anyway, so it's all out there. We want to thank our sponsors for the people to get fit. We want to thank Savvy Events. We're going to have her artists on probably in July, and we're going to do think about supporting how we can support women-owned businesses. So she also does talent management on top of all the other array of things that she does, and that's including her model show. I owe you this too. That includes her modeling show that's coming up in September. She's very excited about that. As of right now, she's still moving forward with it. And if not, she's very creative. I'm sure she'll figure out a way to bring that show to you guys. We also have Brandon Beyond, who does all of our flyers. Thank you for your support. And thank you for creating our flyers. Please follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And then we have, I think I said them all. Peaceful Soul Collection. We have some great things that are coming out here. Probably this week and next week we'll be running. Letting you guys know some different services and stuff that we have. So we really do appreciate all the support we get there. And again, if you have a trailblazer, if there's anybody out there that is an essential worker, I mean, if they're working at Giant, if they're at Sam's, if they are nurses, if they're doing whatever they have to do to go to work, we want to acknowledge them for the rest of the year, because we could not have gotten through this pandemic without them and their hard work and their dedication to their craft. So I think that hopefully people are being respectful and mindful of the people who are risking their lives every day going to work. And that's including your cashier, the person who's sweeping the ground. All these people are making it happen for us to buy groceries. So I hope we're being mindful and respectful of them. That's my little soapbox on that. So tonight we have Benita, Tierra, and Ashley Notice. And I'm excited about today's show because we do a lot about entrepreneurship on the show, but there are some people who are not interested in being entrepreneurs. There are some people who are still interested in climbing that corporate ladder, getting their first dream job right out of college, finding a job that's more suitable for their time, whatever it is that you're looking for. There are things to be said for our resumes. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I have had the same resume format probably for the last 12 years, and I keep adding at the top whatever I've done and added to. And I know my resume is outdated. So I'm really looking forward to this show and listening to whatever Ashley has to bring to us. But let's introduce Tierra, and then Tierra, go ahead and ask Ashley to introduce herself once you finish.
Hey guys, so it's Monday. Happy to be here. Thank you, Benita, for the opportunity. It's Tierra J. You guys know where to find me. I always switch up my social media names. So thank God that I have my website. It's finally up and running. Still have some kinks to work out, but you all can follow me and reach me on at the trjbrand.com. That's my website where you'll find everything, all things the TRJ brand and Tierra. And I'm also launching my blog. So I'm excited about that. I love talking, I love writing and voicing my opinion on certain topics that we have at hand. And I'm excited about it. So now I can introduce Miss Ashley Notice. Can you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Ashley Notice. A little about me. I am an educator first, but I started Can't Help But Notice Services in July, which is my resume, career building web. And I also do notaries. So that's more so what that tier is all about. The resume aspect is big, especially during this pandemic, because a lot of people are without work. They can't find work. A lot of people are now second guessing themselves who might have been busy and never had time to get to that resume. They might have said, okay, my resume is outdated, but I got a job, but I can do it. So I love helping people. And that's pretty much why I started the whole resume ordeal. It started pretty much when my mom taught me. She was corporate government. She's no longer, she's disabled. But when she worked in the government, she showed us right out of high school how to work the resume, how it's supposed to look, what it should have on it. And she learned it from being in the government. So she passed it on and I just took it. Of course, I did workshops and other things to keep up with the details, but definitely that's where it all started.
So let me ask you a question. I know that even how we look for a job has changed. Indeed, used to be Monster was the big thing, or career builders. Now we have like LinkedIn, we have Indeed, we have different platforms that people are using now to find jobs. So it's interesting to me on, what are the top 10 or the top 2 mistakes that you find that people make on their resume? I know one of mine was I had way too much history on it. I had like back in 1998 on my resume. So what do you find the top mistakes people make on their resume?
So with having a resume, so lately I've been getting a book long of resumes where the resumes are like 6 pages long. And that's what you're saying, where some of the information is outdated. After 10 years, it shouldn't even be on there. You should just take it off. Take it off completely. Yes, we all know where you started, but take it off because it's too much. So I've been trying to get people to condense. Also, I've been finding a big thing. A lot of people don't like putting their address on it, but it looks professional. So a lot of people say don't put it on your resume. I mean, on your resume, put it on your application. But who's to say they may ask for it on your application? I've gotten applications who don't even have addresses, cares about your address. They might just care about your first name, your email address, and phone number. So it's always a good ordeal. Some people's phone numbers are outdated. So I find that a big issue. Like nobody wants to put their address on it, which is it's your preference, but it looks professional. It doesn't leave you a blank space. It'll have your name and then your phone number and then your email address. And sometimes the email addresses are not great to email. Some of them are like not professional in those terms. So I would say outdated information and the addresses are mainly the biggest I find a big, huge mistake. I think it's just professional to have all of your information on because it sells you. This is about you. Your resume is a reflection of you. So
what about if you did your city and state? You still think that the physical address is important? Because I know a lot of people will look at it and say, is this person going to want to travel? Because I do some I do recruiting in my full-time job for contract labor, and managers do want to know, like, is this person commuting? Because technically it shouldn't be issue, but in this area with traffic, if I have a position in Herndon, they're going to be reluctant to try to find somebody that's all the way down in Southern Maryland. So what if you put your city and state without the physical?
City and state is good, but I've gotten resumes where you have nothing. We don't know where you're located at all. And some people are just reluctant to it. They don't want to put it on there at all. I prefer them not to know. It's your preference, but it's just how I've looked at it. I know a lot of times in the federal government, they ask for all of that information anyway. They ask for your citizenship. So when you're going to the corporate level, you have to have it because they're going to ask for all that information anyway. A lot of you go through investigations and special security clearances to get up there. So that information is important. At the end of the day, you still have to disclose it either way. So that's just my take on it.
Kiara, you got a question?
Yes. When it comes to resumes, I have a few questions. The first question is how do I word this? Okay, so would you recommend putting a job on a resume if it's under 6 months that you've been at the job? So say for instance, it was temporary, or you thought this was a good fit for you and you were like, I'm gonna work this job, but you left within 6 to 9 months. Is it a good idea to put that on your resume?
So especially if you don't have a lot of work history, it's okay to put it on there. But if you have a bunch of work history that you worked there for months and years at a time, I would leave those 3 months off unless it's related to a job you're trying to get. Because then it becomes, I guess, a place filler. A lot of times I tell a lot of my clients when I see that they've been at a position that was temporary or had it for 3 months, if it's not pertaining to the position you're trying to get in the near future, take it off because it makes, first of all, it makes a lot of times it shows that it's inconsistent because you've only been there for a little while. And then it shows that you bounce around. So you're not stable in one place. So if it's 3 months or less, if it's not pertaining to the skills that you're trying to provide for the next position, take it off. Take it completely off.
Good. That's good. That's good. Okay. What's my next? I have so many questions. You know how you just try to one thing at one time, but it's hard, right? So my next question is it ever a good idea to have more than one resume?
Yes, I definitely do think it is, because a lot of times when you're applying for certain positions, and it doesn't relate to your professional summary or your professional profile that you give a synopsis of your resume, it can make your resume look very messy and all over the place. So say if you've worked an administrative job and then you have later down the line you have like daycare, but you want to go to the executive assistant arena, take it off. Don't put it on. Or move it to your next stage. I think it's just better to have different resumes for certain positions, because it makes it easier for the person that's recruiting you to see the actual skill set that you have or what you worked. So that's how I look at that. So I don't see anything wrong. That's even for a teacher. So as me, I'm an educator. I have a specific resume for just teaching, because it's good to have to show that. They don't need to see that I've had administrative assistant and all of that. I'm gearing my history and my calling or whatever dream job I want to teaching. So it needs to be just that teaching resume.
Perfect.
I have a quick question that came in through text message.
Yes.
Which is interesting. This is the first time I've had a text message. Thank you, Ashley, for sending in your question. She's asking, should you put your start pay or your current pay on your resume, or should even your pay be on your resume? How much you?
No, that's a big no, because if the employer is not asking for it, you don't need it. Again, those pay rates and all of that is pertaining to your job application. So if they ask for your job application, a lot of times that's what they want. The information for you to keep for yourself, you want to write it down for each job, how much you've made, good. But on the resume, it's not needed. It's not needed. Now, for federal government, the only thing that they ask for a federal resume is how many hours you work. And a lot of times, some people work anywhere from 40 to about 60 hours in the government. So they ask that for each position, depending on what grade you are. I have seen that several times. But as far as your pay, take it off.
I would say, as far as government jobs, I stay far away. And it's mainly because it's so much work to fill out for a government job. And Tiara, you're not, and so you must understand. And making sure, it's like you have to have 7 or 8 different resumes, because you have to have certain keywords. Your resume has to be structured to that job, and then you're on the computer for hours trying to fill out for one particular job, and there's still no guarantee that you're going to get it. So do you actually offer that service to help people get through that, or do you write to the job descriptions, or how does that work? Do you have clients that are trying to get into government and it's like, I'm lazy with it. I will be honest and say, I just don't have the patience for it, and that's why I stay in private sector.
And that's real. That's honestly real. A lot of clients have said, I don't want to sit and go through this resume. I've gotten that. Or I don't want to go through the job application. Here's the job description. Can you make my cover letter seem like this? Or can you make I've gotten that plenty of times. The thing is, you have to have, a lot of times, a lot of people miss what they're asking for. And a lot of times you already have it on there. It's just the wording. You have to fix the wording with the federal government pertaining to that job description. And that's how you pretty much get your foot in the door. A lot of times it's different little key pointers. Of course, knowing someone inside already gets you in the door, number one. But if you really want this position, you have to focus on those job descriptions and what they're requiring for you to get that position. It has to match. That resume has to match completely. Like the wording has to be so close to what they're looking for in order for you to get it. And it's not hard, but it is time consuming. It's very time consuming. And if you really want the position, you'll put the work in. That's just how it is. I mean, that's a part of life.
So can somebody pay you to do that for them?
Somebody can pay me to do that for me. Yeah.
So another problem with that is relating your private sector work to the government work. I mean, because a lot of times your work does match, but trying to make it connect is sometimes challenging. So with your services with Ashley Notice, can't help but notice
services.
Yeah, I love that name. It's so catchy. So with your services,
That's so cute.
Yes, it is.
My boyfriend created it actually. So
really?
Yes. So I didn't come up with the name. I started the business in July. We just had our baby girl. She's actually 10 months. And I was out of work due to test scores, unfortunately. But I'm going back. I finished my master's. I mastered it.
Hey, congratulations.
So I'm finished that portion, but I'm going back to teach. But I'm still going to be available. Of course, you have my look. I'm always available. It doesn't matter if you need assistance with your resumes. But definitely, I didn't come up with that name. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna call it. I'm just going to do the resumes. And he was like, why don't you just do Can't Help But Notice Services? And my name is actually Notice, but it looks like Notice. So
oh, really?
Yes.
We were just saying Notice. She was like, it's Ashley Notice.
Oh, I did introduce you. I said Ashley Notice.
It's fine. My students call me Ashley Notice all the time. They call me Miss Notice, Miss Notice, Miss No. I've had all kinds of names. It's fine. It doesn't bother me because it looks just like Notice, but it's pronounced Notice.
So everybody give waves to Facebook because there's some people saying hi to my sister.
Hello.
Your sister is on there, so make sure we're saying hi to the individuals who are out there supporting you, Miss Notice.
Yeah.
So, one of your other, go ahead, Pierre, you got a question?
No, I was just going to comment and say I love that your boyfriend is so helpful and supportive in what you have going on, and that's rare and hard to find someone actually being there to support you, especially in your time of need. You just had a baby girl. Congratulations on having a baby.
Thank you. She's almost won. The time flew, y'all.
Yes.
Like what? She's almost won. So yes.
My youngest is 23. So
yeah. I have 3 kids, 7, 3, get ready to be 4 next month, and then baby girl in July. So she'll be 1 in July. So I'm done. No more.
I know that's right. I said if I had more kids, I just pray God give me twins so it can be over. Because I have an 11-year-old, and I said, look, I didn't miss the mark of having, a gap between siblings. I said, Lord, just give me twins. I
know that's right.
So I did have a question. Do you action words? How do you feel about using action words with resumes, especially when it comes to wanting to be in the government? How do you feel about action words?
So action words are definitely good. So actually, we were speaking on that, and I just pulled it up, and you probably can hear my kids in the background. But action words are good because they're actually powerful words for your resume. They make you stand out. They make you. It don't seem mediocre. Like mediocre. Like, okay, I kept the front area clean versus saying I managed the front desk area. The transition of the wording gives your resume not only a clean finish, but it makes you seem like you know what you're talking about. You are comfortable with what you're doing. A lot of times it's what I do. I kept the front area done. I've gotten take out of resume. It's nothing about that. It's the detailing of the job. Keep it related to the job. Keep it related to the job. And so
let me ask you this question. And I know you about to cringe and people out there about to talk bad about me. but I'm gonna be honest. I take the job description and I change the job description to what I've done. And I copy it to the resume. Don't you laugh at me.
Now, with that, it's okay because a lot of times with your resume, it is verbatim. A lot of the jobs are, I've seen it worded several different ways. So some people can have it very simple, cutthroat to the chase, but adding action words to it and copying and pasting is okay because a lot of times your job is giving you the description already anyway. So it's not saying that it's not like a paper you plagiarize. These are your actual positions, your actions that you do daily on your job. So a lot of times the information that they're giving you are already copying and paste anyway. Just FYI. I learned that in HR. I worked in HR for a year after I had my first son, and I watched her very thoroughly to see what she looked for in resumes. I was like, okay, how do you guys select people? And that's what she was looking at. She was like, well, if it's worded well, that's how and a lot of times I was looking like, well, a lot of people look the same. Don't they look the same? It's the same thing. And she was like, well, you have to read through it because you'll catch misspell words, different stuff like that would throw it all away. Throw your resume into the, nope, I'm okay. It was close, but nope, you didn't make it. So I watched that portion too. So I don't feel as though it's nothing wrong with that. So if you're looking to figure out what you actually do in your job, never gave you the description, look it up. That's what Google is for. Now, I'm not saying just pick anything. Read. You have to read. Read what you're writing. Read what you're putting on your paper, on your resume. Because again, this is a reflection of you. Read for the misspelled words because not everything on Google is correct. She muted. You muted.
Thank you. So when you're out here and you're trying to grow your business and you're trying to and you're doing something for the first time and you might have been a little nervous doing things, when you have your support, I'm gonna tell you something. Your sister, she is on here and she is super proud of you and she is like highing you and she is just so excited. So when you have that support, when you feeling like you can't do something, I want you to tap into the energy that you have here on these comments because they are really rooting for you and supporting you. So always feel amazing about that because everybody doesn't have anybody in their corner that's willing to get on here and ride for them this whole interview. She is like riding for you.
Yes, ride for me, sister.
So you should be very happy about that. And I'm very happy to have you here because the goal for this year is for Tiara and I. Tiara kind of gave me a little challenge at the beginning of the year. And the goal is to do what we can to help elevate women to the next level. And shows like this and the fitness show we did and the mental health show we did, all these shows are designed to help us move somewhere. And next month isn't going to be any different from where we are now. And I'm very excited about that. Getting us all to the next level. So what advice do you have for job seekers? Because seeking for a job is not even the same anymore. Looking for a job, the platforms are not the same. Everything is on, LinkedIn, and, you have to be able to, and what should your LinkedIn page? Some people think, I always thought LinkedIn was a professional version, but people will try to pick you up on LinkedIn too. So how should you link? You do part of your services. Do you set up LinkedIn accounts for people too?
Yes, ma'am. So I do the Indeed and LinkedIn, but LinkedIn, a lot of times I haven't, as far as the dating realm, nobody has ever tried to pick me up on LinkedIn at all. But a lot of recruiters, I'm telling you, if your wording is correct on there, If you know what you are talking about as far as your position, if it's professional, clean, and neat, they're going to write you. Your inbox will be jumping. Trust me. I've been out of teaching for a very long time, for about a year now, and I've had endless people in my inbox on LinkedIn trying to get me to come teach at their school. So it's based on what you have on your LinkedIn account, and it's very important to have it. I haven't added Can't Help But Know the services on it, but I will eventually, because right now, as you know, my main source of income is educating. I'm an educator. I educate the kids. They are our future. But I love doing this. I love seeing people get jobs. I love seeing people go to the next level to excel for their lives. So their livelihood is a big thing too. But LinkedIn is important. You need to have one, and it should be on your resume. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't want to set it up," but it's time consuming. Yes, it is. It is tedious work, and it's not like Indeed where you can just copy and paste your resume and you don't have any issues. You have to go through it step by step so it can be neat and it can be a reflection of you. LinkedIn is very important. So get a LinkedIn account if you do not have it. And that's even for the entrepreneur, everybody who's have their little side hustles and everything. LinkedIn is a good spot. It's a lot of people on there. It's a good way to network. Get yourselves out there. Don't be afraid. Because if you're trying to get on the job market, you don't know who you're going to run into. You don't know who you're going to meet. Just like me. I didn't know I was going to be able to be on here with Tiara and Benita, but I got the opportunity. So look, networking is important. So get on LinkedIn. Be mindful. Indeed is a little catchy because you can have some spam messages and spam jobs. Don't get caught up on those. Those are really that website can be catchy. Make sure you're reading. You have to read. I can't stress it enough because you will get caught up. You'll get caught into something that you don't want to, and they'll fool you and say, "Oh, here's a position," and send you some type of check. It's happened. Don't be mindful to read the job descriptions. Be mindful to look for websites. Be mindful to double check when you're on Indeed, because you can have people that are fraudulent and that are very dishonest integrity wise. So yeah.
You just reminded me of something. I remember a few years ago when I was in college. You know how it is. Sometimes you're looking for work in the summertime when you come home, you're like, I'm not going to sit at home and, just be wasteful of any time that I have. And I was a couple of my friends were on Craigslist looking for jobs. At that time, it was like, I don't want to work at a fast food restaurant. I want to work in an office somewhere, somewhere comfy and, stable. I don't want none of my friends to see me at McDonald's, Burger King, places like that. So we were desperate enough to go on Craigslist, and I didn't see anything. I was looking and reading at some stuff, but I was like, no, that's okay. I'll just wait. And I had started working in my aunt's hair salon, being a shampoo girl. But one of my girlfriends, she had actually found a position on Craigslist, and the position says something about working from home. They were going to send her a check of $3,500, and they sent the check, and that they were going to send a laptop, a printer, and scanner, and all she had to do was put this check in her bank account, send them I think $3,000, and keep $5,000 for herself. And I was like, you sure? She was like, yeah, it's a real job. It's a real job. I see the name of the company and everything. I was like, okay. And so they sent her a overnight mailer, but inside the mailer, it didn't have any, like, a letter with a letterhead on it saying congratulations and welcome to the company. We didn't really see names or positions or even a number or email address. So inside the mailer, she had it looked like a personal check. and the check had the name of the company on top of it, and it said $3,500. So she took that check and she put it into Navy Federal. Um, about a couple days later, Navy Federal, it doesn't take that long, depending on the amount, for the check to clear. So she went back and she took the money out and she sent that money to them via I think Western Union or one of them, and she never heard from them again. So she had $3,000 deducted and minus from her account. So it looked like she did some type of fraudulent criminal activity, whereas though she didn't. She actually had like a paper trail of emails. Well, it wasn't an email, it was like a chat, because they were talking via chat. So thank God she didn't erase it or anything. She was able to print that off and take it to Navy Federal. And once she got to Navy Federal, she talked to one of the branch managers, and they said this happens to them at least 20 times a day. So this was something that was going on for years. And I was like, that is crazy that people actually send stuff like that. So when you said read, 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 I was like, yes, that brought me to that happening, because that happened to a few people that I know. And I was like, oh my gosh, people are really, preying on people that may be desperate, looking for a job or a place to stay. It happened to someone that wanted a place to stay. This man from another country was taking pictures of people's apartments and getting people's what you call it, y'all, first month and security deposit, and then going and giving them a key, and somebody was living there. So definitely, we
Wow.
have to be aware and careful of people that prey on other people.
We're going to take a quick break and we're going to do our trailblazers. We are so excited. We do have two for the end of our little season. We have Jamia Johnson. I don't even know who this could be, kind of the same last name, but she is doing some amazing things for transporting people in the hospital. We thank you so much for being an essential worker. And then we have Chappelle Ivy. She's also a nurse. She is one of my really good friends, and we never see her anymore because she's always at work. And you see her with her PPE on. So we thank you for all of your hard work and everything that you're doing and all the sacrifices you're both making to keep us all safe and getting people healthy. So thank you again. If you have a trailblazer, anybody that you want to acknowledge that they're doing a great thing, please send them over to us, BMSTE Radio at bmste.com, so that we could cycle them into the show. We are looking for 4 people for next month. So if you would like to be a trailblazer, or if you like to nominate somebody, please send them over. We're setting up our shows for next month, and we could give you the date on when somebody could be the next trailblazer for June 8th. I have another question for you. While we were talking, I want to go back to the LinkedIn and then the resume the resume writing. So for myself, as well as Sierra, we have other things that we do. As far as us having a full-time employment, as well as also our uh, personal goals and businesses that we're running. So I've written a book, 2 books, or been part of 2 anthologies and compiled. I've done the radio show, writing and stuff like that, but I'm always hesitant to post that stuff on LinkedIn because I don't want to cross my personal endeavors with my business endeavors as far as getting into my corporate job. So what do you recommend for people who are entrepreneurs who are also having some skills that could incorporate them in their full-time jobs without saying I run a whole business outside of work? Because that could also deter people from wanting to work with you if they think that your attention is not going to be on them. So I don't post a book on LinkedIn. I think I may have done it once, but I didn't promote my play on LinkedIn. I don't promote the show on LinkedIn. I really don't do any. I mean, I've gotten my job now from LinkedIn. The recruiter contacted me through LinkedIn, but that's all I use it for, is for business. And then I thought about doing a whole nother account for my personal stuff. So what do you recommend? And do you put that stuff on your resume or no?
Okay, so since you are a book writer, you can add a tab onto your resume that says publications. You have publicized a book, several books. You have written a play. These are all your things, which is okay to broadcast. You can use it as a platform to put yourself out, and a lot of times I haven't seen anybody get deterred from jobs as far as your publications, because it's strictly under publications to say, I have done such and such. Just like I might have written a paper to get out of for my master's. I can put that on there, or a thesis, a dissertation. All of those types of things will go underneath publication on your resume. Now, as far as promoting your personal businesses or your entrepreneur, I would definitely make a different LinkedIn pertaining a set aside from your personal 9 to 5 that you do. It's okay because it's a different platform. Of course, it's going to be a different you. This is, you're different on that platform. Then you show your professional side of who you are, but you have to have 2 different ones to distinguish. And then you'll get a different crowd. You won't get the corporate based on what you do for Bonita Spinner and your plays and all of that. You'll get different publications and different corporations writing you versus corporate people writing you. So you have to distinguish those 2. So yeah, it is a lot to run as far as having one. But if you want to get yourself out there and it's a platform besides Instagram and Facebook, LinkedIn is also a nice place for as far as your entrepreneur goes, because you'll meet other people, and people go on there too to look for different services as well. So it's not just all job oriented. Again, so they do have different platforms. You just have to distinguish the 2. So a lot of times what I do, it costs, of course, LinkedIn costs, but you'll have a premium platform, which is just strictly for where you go and line up for all your apply for your jobs. It keep tabs of all where you apply for your jobs, and then you'll have your personal where you're just saying, this is what I do, these are the services I provide, come check me out, that kind of thing. On that aspect, I've seen 2 different. I hope I answered your question.
And okay. So Tiara does branding and marketing. I don't know. I don't know if that relates to what she's actually doing in her full-time job, but let's say it wasn't. It had nothing to do with what she was doing, but she is doing branding and marketing with her business. And her business has been established for a few years. She's doing social media management. How could she incorporate those skills? Because as entrepreneurs, you are accumulating a lot of different skill sets that you ordinarily would not do maybe on your 9 to 5, or that could enhance your resume on your 9 to 5. But this is documented experience. Putting on a play, we kind of sold out our first play. That took a lot of different skills for us to be able to do that. 2-time best-selling author. Those are things that we could add that would be as value to a company, to say that, we're dedicated, we're focused, we're, whatever. But how could you incorporate some of those skills into what you actually do if they're somewhat related but unrelated?
Okay, so a lot of people were outdated with the objective. And now, so I was getting a lot of the objective, what I want to do versus what I know how to do, which you will put on your resume. Instead of saying objective, you will put professional profile. Your professional profile, you can list all of your things that you have. So I am the CEO of Can't Help But Know the Services, and this is what I do and Can't Help But Know the Services. So I provide resume services. That's what you will put in your profile. You can also make a tab where you put, okay, your business that you have. So you have a marketing, just for instance, Tiara, you have a marketing business. And you will put on there, I have a marketing business, whatever your title of it, and that you're the CEO of it. You're running that company. What you exactly do every day, on a daily basis, or what your duties are. That's how you can make it and incorporate it into your resume. So it still gives you that professional spat, you know, to it, and still put your business that you're running on the market. Because now they know, now they're aware, okay, now she's capable of, she can run a company. Oh, I can get her to supervise 10 to 12 people. And it's not always about not, and another thing with the resume, we got to change our mindset. Change your mindset. When you change your mindset and you're confident, you'll be able to put anything on your resume and it will sell, because you'll know how to speak. That's another portion. A lot of people don't know how to speak about their sales. So your resume sells you, but you have to speak about yourself. When you're on these interviews, you have to sell yourself. Sell yourself. Tell them what you can do. If not, that piece of paper don't matter.
When you say change the mindset, elaborate. So what mindset do we have that is hindering us from getting that dream job?
So being open-minded. So be open-minded to, if you have the qualities, but not all of them, still be open-minded. Go apply. What is the worst answer you can get? The biggest answer you can get is a no. Okay, moving on. A lot of times we don't go to our full potential because we're scared of the rejection. The rejection portion will hinder you. You can't hinder yourself. And knowing that you have the skills, I have the skill set, but it's in a different arena. I've done this in a different arena. I've ran a play. I've oversaw a bunch of people. It's the whole mindset of how you take it and how you word it. It's your wording, your action words, how you would sell yourself overall. So wording it. I managed a play. I ran a play where I oversaw 50 I don't know the terminology right off the top of my head, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You just have to word it to a T. And I mean, go 100 times. You can go once and fail. Go back and do it again. Go back and do it again. I could change it this way. And then a lot of times too, there's somebody that you're thinking the same things that you're doing, somebody else has already done it. So the information is at your reach. So you can always research it and see, oh, how did this person do it this way? And then you can put the Benita twist on it or the Tiara twist on it. But it's you. It's what you make it. You have to change your mindset. It's all about your mindset. And that's how we as a people excel, because if you don't, you hinder yourself. You hinder yourself. I've seen so many people that say, well, I don't have the skill set. I don't have this. I don't have that. But if you've done it, or I've worked in daycare. I worked in daycare for 30 years, but I know how to do administrative work because I've done it. You have to sell yourself. You have to sell yourself. Switch it around. I've been an administrative assistant for a daycare for X amount of years, or I was director. I help assist and run the daycare. It's different ways that you can make yourself and word your resume to make you get to the top, just like everybody else.
Some action words, right?
Action words. It's those actions, because if you don't take the actions, at the end of the day, you're going to put yourself and you're going to lower yourself at the bottom, right where you don't want to be. Put yourself on that high pedestal. Think of yourself as great. I am great. I can do it. I can get these jobs just like everybody else. And then at Reach, there's different skills online. Take advantage of the internet. Surf. Be great and surf. There are so many skills available to you. They're giving out certifications for different stuff. Look for them. Look for them. And they're not that costly. Look for them. Get those certifications. Put them on your resume. It helps.
So can you tell everybody again, because I know I'm excited You got me rethinking my resume. And when I stop being so lazy, I'll probably be your next client. Um, so tell us again, how can people get your services and know the list of services that you provide? And can you just let the audience know that? We need to know how to find you because I love your energy.
Me too.
Oh, thank y'all. So you guys can definitely find me. I just about a month or so ago, Lauren. She's also a video virtual assistant. So I'm gonna put her on a
She's
blog.
amazing.
She's
I've had a
amazing,
conversation
guys.
with her.
She did my website, so you can definitely Google me at www.can'thelpbutnoticeservices.com. You can find me there. I'm also on Facebook at Can't Help But Notice Services _services. So the same thing for Instagram and Facebook. So Can't Help But Notice Services _. So it's Can't Help But Notice _services on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me. I have pages. Go like me. I'm available. I have reviews on there. I've helped people get jobs in days. I mean, they had people coming at them. So I had helped someone apply for a position. She relocated to a different state and found work. Look, I've helped a lot of people, and a lot of people haven't even said. I know people that hasn't even said anything. That'll say, "Oh, I forgot to say that I got that job that you applied for me." Or I was so busy, I was just too excited, I haven't got back to you. But I also can be found like that. Of course, my number is already out there, so you can also hit me on my cell if you like. It's 240-645-7897. And then I have my email address as well, ashley.notetease@outlook.com. So those are all my platforms that you can find me.
Now, this is for her resume. I also want you to plug. She also sells paparazzi. She does hair. She is a jack of all trades. So, women are out here hustling in 2020. So we have to have 20. The thing is to have 7 streams of income. That is your goal. You have to have 7 ways to have income coming in to be successful. So I want to thank you. Tiara, go ahead and tell them how they can find you. And if you got anything, and leave me a minute.
Yes, I won't talk long. I finally have my website up, so you can just reach me on the trjbrand.com. I don't have anything coming up right now. God willing, that we'll be able to be clear and free of this stuff by the end of summer so that I can have my second annual Am I Ready women's conference. Last year was amazing. So many people came out. And I'm just excited to have it again. So yeah, you better come. You better come. I might need you to speak on it. Come on. Yeah. So I love doing what I do, and that's it. The trjbrand.com, and I do blog as well. So you can find that on one platform, guys.
So I'm excited. I did kind of like do a little cleanup on the website, cleanup on the Instagram page. We're getting ready for June and the third season of Ripped Radio and BMS TV radio show. We're hoping to be able to have you back. We have some other things that I kind of want to do too. Love to talk about that offline. But I am excited about these shows. These last couple of shows that we've done have been absolutely amazing. I encourage people to go back and watch the replays of this show and some of the other shows we've done. We have put out some great information. We have been working with some very powerful, dynamic women who are doing great things in the community, who are trying to make a difference in this community. And we've got to support them. We've got to support each other. Our first show next season is all about how powerful the Black and brown dollar is. So you have to tune in for that one too. Tune in for our whole month of June. It's going to be fire. But we definitely are excited. We appreciate you guys tuning in every Monday at 7. If you're watching the replay, that's cool. We're okay with that. Thank you for her support system, for being here to rally around her and to support her, for being there for her and to comfort her through this. I feel like I'm about to give a prayer. To comfort her through this, because support is important. People don't understand how important it is to know that you have somebody out there that's looking at you and has your back while you're out there trying to do what you have to do. Yes, it is free. And we are out of time. And thank you, RIP Radio, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.